Okay, so fresh off the last WWE pay-per-view of the year and the start of a WWE week on the USA Network, we begin Raw with Chris Jericho. Yeah, so Chris Jericho was your special guest general manager. Made a match against John Cena and Seth Rollins in a steel cage match. Good thing there was a steel cage directly over the ring that they didn't show for quite some time. He also made a match, Chris Jericho, I believe for the first time ever, taking on Paul Buster Heyman Jr. That happened. That actually happened. Did you watch TLC? If you didn't, don't worry. Pretty much everyone involved in matches had matches. And in some cases, it was almost the exact same match you saw last night. The New Day, this time the combination of Xavier Woods and Big E Langston, who I guess now has a sweating problem, took on Golden Stardust. In a match that I think I might have actually fallen asleep during. Even the crowd was doing all the random chants like JBL, CM Punk. You know, you got a team that can really work pretty well, but it just seemed to just go on. You know, it was a tag team match that felt like it just went on way, way, way too long. I mean, I think I legitimately might have fallen asleep during that match. Which is sad, because the New Day started out, people were cheering, now they get, Charlie Haas pop. It's just... You see a couple people like clapping and saying New Day. Maybe they come off better on SmackDown because, they're piping in cheers. But three guys, lots of talent, don't really seem to be going anywhere currently. They probably thought, man, Shield went off like gangbusters. Wyatt's gangbusters. We'll take these three guys who have been pretty directionless for the majority of their careers, and man, it seems kind of like a directionless thing after a couple of weeks. Rowan and Ziggler took on Harper and Big Show in a very mismatched tag team match, with Show getting the pin on Rowan. Nice match. I'm glad they showed, Ziggler and Harper. You could tell they were in a frickin' war. Show and Rowan, even though they beat each other with steel steps, didn't look too worse for wear. The Bellas had a tag match against Alicia Fox and Natalya because Total Divas is coming back in January. This Divas tag match actually had tags, which is very rare in Divas tag matches, that they actually... All four of them had some bit in the ring. And Natalya made Brie tap. Okay. Don't know why Natalya, a face, was teaming with Alicia Fox, a heel. But... whatever, Natalya was on TV and she got a win. That's good. That by itself is actually very, very good. Then another trailer for The Ascension. And, I like the Ascension's work in NXT. I don't know how well they're going to come off in front of a live crowd. Miz took on an Uso. I did get to see the Usos documentary on the WWE Network. Very good. Very good. It was sad that the day that they were officially signed is when Umaga died. I was like, oh man. You kind of forget that, like, if you're a Samoan and a wrestler, you're probably all related. It's like being a Guerrero and being, a Mexican wrestler. Or a luchador. So he took on the Miz. He used a little bit of chicanery. They used their slammies. Got a big try on the Miz. I'm glad they continue the Miz, Naomi, Uso storyline. It's good to see them using a diva for something beyond just the title picture. It's nice. It's like, wow, they actually know they have women. And they know that we've seen her marriage for a couple of years, and now they're actually going to attempt to use what we've seen on Total Divas and be like, hey, they're actually married. Maybe we can use that for something. I don't know. Rusev was interviewed during a highlight reel. Of course, this is Face Jericho. Well, PG Face Jericho. So he cut a bunch of really kind of juvenile jokes. It was nice. Worked pretty well. Jericho was like, this guy wants to face you, Rusev. And then feed me more hit. And the crowd kind of popped pretty nice for Rusev Ryback. Hossing it up, man. Hossing it up. That could be a pretty decent feud if done well. You got two big, strong bulls who are going to whoop the daylights out of each other. They're probably pretty good. Kane took on Adam Rose because Kane needs victories. And then Tombstone the Bunny. And the head stayed on the Bunny. That was impressive. That was impressive. You know, you watch something like Chikara, and you watch like Dragon lose his head. Or his head like it's turned around. But the Bunny takes a Tombstone pile driver and the head stays on perfectly. Alright, cool. Good stuff, good stuff. So the Jericho-Heyman match. Heyman hemmed and hawed. And then the Beast came down and attacked Jericho. Now I mentioned that Seth Rollins is taking on John Cena in a steel cage match. Now that we know that Brock Lesnar is there, do you think there's any suspense at all in that cage match? Do you? Any suspense at all? Knowing that Brock Lesnar's in the building, and then he has a bone to pick with John Cena, and John Cena stopped and stuff inside the cage. Did anybody not think that it was going to end with Brock Lesnar coming out of the ring attacking John Cena, allowing Seth Rollins to leave the ring? Did anybody not think that was going to happen? Was that the shocker for anybody at all? And we're like, alright, well, I guess now we know that once you reveal that Lesnar is there, they really had nothing to do. I was like, well, we kind of know Lesnar's going to show up. You know, Heyman did a handshake with Rollins. Does that mean anything? Who knows? Would it be neat to see, Seth Rollins become a Paul Heyman guy? Does he need Paul Heyman? I think Heyman gives him a little more credibility. But it would work pretty well. Roman Reigns made his way down to the ring. Show came down to the ring. He punched Show in the face. Went, Rah! Crowd went nuts. Roman Reigns is going to return for Super SmackDown. All, TLC had its moments. I still think ending the pay-per-view with an exploding TV spot was not the best way of ending it. It seems like they have no idea how to end certain matches. Had the TV blown up in his face. It seemed like it needed one other spot after that. If it had been, blow up in his face, Sister Abigail onto a chair, or Sister Abigail into a ladder, or we've seen him hit Sister Abigail against a wall. He could have pretty easily had set up, a table in the corner. Sister Abigail went into the table, which could have broken from the weight of their bodies, then rolled them over for a pin. Or Sister Abigail onto the burnt out TV. It was like, alright. Decent pay-per-view had some weird moments to it. The cage match did have Michael Cole marking out like crazy because, it's not like John Cena's beaten or had a match with 3 full-time wrestlers instead of a steel cage match that he ended up losing because of child demonic Deus Ex Machina. John Cena hit an AA off the top rope with Michael Cole saying it was the most extreme AA ever. 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 Like, he's never hit a top rope AA before. And I was like, well, I'm pretty sure the way he did a Hell in a Cell was like a second rope AA through a table would probably be considered a little bit, more impressive than a top rope AA. Just saying. So, this week's Raw had some high points, had some low points. It does seem like they are now in coast mode until January, when they'll start going like, okay, we're in coast mode for the rest of the year. January, we're gonna hit it hard. Royal Rumble freaking writes itself. Royal Rumble and the WrestleMania is so easy to book. By the time Royal Rumble's done, you've already got your main event pretty much set up for WrestleMania. Elimination Chamber allows you to do a couple of your bigger filler matches. And in that time from January to February into March and into April, you're set up everything for WrestleMania. You actually get pretty much 4 months to write your storyline going into WrestleMania. And that's only be like, well, we'll have Sting show up, maybe The Undertaker, maybe The Rock will have matches, maybe Triple H will have matches with somebody. Maybe Hogan wants to try to do something that they've got enough to go, we'll throw some money in some dream matches. We'll make it happen. But we're now in coast mode between now and the end of the year. At least NXT is going to be awesome because it's NXT.